Hey, it's Sharon Dawn, and I thought I'd bring you another update on the lump story. It is the 13th of November, and last Wednesday I had an ultrasound again on my ovary, on my right ovary, because a couple of months ago they found a 3 centimetre lump there that they couldn't decide what it was. So I'd had a CT scan, an MRI, an ultrasound, and blood tests, and they still couldn't decide what it was. So now that I've moved to Coffs Harbour, I've got a different gynecologist, and we've done another ultrasound, and in 2 weeks I go to the gynecologist for results. So I'm really quite interested to see if that lump's changed, if it's got smaller, if what they determine it is, because, since over the last 2 months, my eating has got very good, and yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how that's progressed or not progressed, and see whether I've got to do anything about it. So I'll bring you an update on that when that happens. The other thing that happened on Wednesday was I went back to my naturopath, and this naturopath specialises in cancer and different things like that. She's very full on in understanding how genes and all that sort of stuff work, and cells and everything. Explains lots of stuff that goes over my head. I did record it. I'm going to have to listen to it a few times to get my head around it. But basically, she said what I've done so far is really good. She's concerned about a few things, and so am I. One is I'm still low on energy. And when I really started thinking about that, I sort of got the sign of that probably over a year ago, when I stopped jumping out of bed first thing in the morning, and sort of lay in bed for a little bit, thinking that, oh, well, I'm getting older and I'll enjoy a sleep in or whatever. But seriously, I've always been a person that just jumps out of bed, starts the day like that. So that was a change that sort of missed. And with the eating, the pretty well vegan with a little bit of fish and some eggs, is I'm still not got full of energy. Like, I'm not bad, but I feel I could be a lot better. So she's concerned about that. She said my circulation's still not good. Um, she said there's a few things, and of course we had the hair sample, which showed a whole lot of things like, surprisingly, I'm not high in copper. Breast cancer is usually high in copper. In fact, I'm a bit low. We need copper in our body, so we're actually putting some in instead of taking some out. Toxins, I'm really, really low on toxins, which is a real good sign. She said what the nutritionist had been giving me earlier would have brought out any toxins that I would have had, and that hasn't shown, so that's a really good sign. Low on calcium and magnesium still, so we're going to work on that. And just obviously working on still getting rid of all those floating hormones in the HER2 and so forth. So I go back to see her in a month. She's given me a change in diet, and I still got to get my head around it a little bit. She wants me to eat a little bit of meat, and have butter. Didn't mind the butter, real butter only, nothing with any margarine or nut butters or anything like that, only real butter, natural butter. Reason being that she believes that we can only get vitamin A from those sources, so she wants me to have a little bit. But the meat can only be grass-fed from a butcher, so I've got to go and find that, so that's going to be a little mission. Excuse me. The other thing is more beans. She's given me a few things that sort of add a bit more sugar into my diet. Not sugar as in normal sugar, but like through honey. I've always sort of avoided honey because I'm allergic to bees, but I've got a little bit of maple syrup, so I'm not sure if that's equivalent. I didn't think to ask her, but anyway, I'll ask her next month. So she's given me a heap of stuff to go through, and it was really interesting because when I first went to her, I went to her because I knew she specialised in this sort of thing, but she's a very big lady, and her husband works behind the counter, and he's massive. And I struggled a bit with that because I thought, well, am I really going to take health advice from someone who's really quite obese? And I listened to her again on Wednesday, and I thought, well, yeah, okay, you really know your stuff. And I really looked at her, and skin and hair and everything. She looks very healthy. Then I discovered that her husband is an excellent chef and has been for 30 or 40 years. So that would be a problem. I still struggle with it a little bit. You know, she tells me I've got to do this exercise and that exercise and so forth. And I look at her and I think, well, you know, you should walk the talk. But I'll go through it all. I'll work out my own path, and I'll go back and see her next month. I mean, it does make sense. I do need to increase my exercise a little bit more. I do something every day. Lucky I get to walk or jog along the beach a fair bit now. But she said I need to build my muscles up a bit. I've lost a bit of condition, which is not really surprising with the radical change of diet and the stress of it all and the operation and everything. So yeah, that all makes sense. So I'll get my head around that over the next week or two. She's changed. I'd pretty well run out of all the tablets that I'd been on with the nutritionist. And she said, well, that was stage 1 anyway. Now we're at stage 2. That because where I was at before was to stop the growth of the cancer. Well, the cancer's been cut out. So now we're working on eliminating it coming back. So that all makes sense. So, and the diet obviously complements the supplements, and the supplements work better if you have the diet right. So that all makes sense too. So I've just got a fair bit of reading to do, but she's also given me recipes, which are more cooking. Lucky Stephen's been really good at this. He does most of the meals still, which is really good. But yeah, I'm doing more and more. So we're getting there. Anyway, it's all good. On a whole, feeling good. My scars still a little bit tender when I lie on that spot, but you know, I guess it's only a couple of months. You know, I'd like it all be gone, but obviously not. Numb under the lymphs here and under the arms, yeah, it's numb, and I don't think that'll come back. I think that's killed the nerve ends, but anyway, we'll just keep working it. I've been really lucky, no lymphomania or whatever, no swelling of the arm, and moving all that through. And I had some cording under my arm and it got quite bad, and I've managed to massage most of that out, and I think I've pretty well got rid of it. So I'm pleased about that. So on a whole, we're doing really good. We just need to get the energy up and make sure we kill off all that excess cancer stuff. So yeah, it's all good. So I'll bring you an update. Next week I have to go to the gym to be analysed, something else through the medical system. So I'll bring you an update after that. All right, talk to you then. See ya.